Sarada just ruined everything the Uchiha clan ever stood for. And that's exactly why she might be the greatest of all time. Because while Madara, Obito, Itachi and even Sasuke drowned the clan in blood, Sarada did the unthinkable. She broke the curse and rewrote the Uchiha's history. It's the reason she's destined to become the first Hokage in her clan. So let's break down each and every mistake of the past. What hindered them from achieving their dream and how Boruto has corrected them. Let's start with Sarada's uncle, Itachi Uchiha, the man with the philosophy of a Hokage at age 7. But even with all that genius, he made the greatest mistake of all. He lied to himself. Itachi grew up in a clan boiling with hatred and rebellion. His father Fugaku led the coup against Konoha, preparing to drench the village in blood to restore the clan's pride. He stood at a crossroad between loyalty for his clan or loyalty to the village. And in that darkness, the only light Itachi had was Shisui. Shisui believed that Uchiha could be saved through understanding. He even tried to use his Koto Amatsukami to stop the coup peacefully. But when Shisui sacrificed himself, Itachi lost that voice of love, reason, and trust. So instead, Itachi chose the path of hatred. He slaughtered his entire clan, believing that carrying the burden of hate alone could protect peace. He convinced himself that isolating Sasuke, forcing him to live in hatred, it would make him strong enough to one day redeem the clan and be its savior by killing Itachi, who had been deemed a criminal. But in doing so, Itachi denied his own truth, his own heart, and even his brother. He admitted it all in the end. True strength only comes from acknowledging who you are. So in that emotional moment where we all teared up, where he's saying goodbye to Sasuke, he said sorry. Why? Because he failed to trust in love over hatred. He sent Sasuke down the wrong path. Now, how is this connected to Sarada? Because we're trying to debunk all the haters stating that she's a trash character, she's the worst Uchiha, and this is very bad writing, right? So, unlike her uncle, she doesn't lie to herself. Her Mangekyou Sharingan didn't awaken through loss, it awakened through love. Sarada is the living answer to both Itachi's regret and Sasuke's redemption. She embodies what Itachi realized too late, that true strength comes not from carrying hatred, but from acknowledging your true feelings and self. That's why in 2 Blue Vortex chapter 25, Sarada openly confesses her love for Boruto, admitting that he is the bond she's willing to fight for no matter what. Her Mangekyou Sharingan is called Ohirume, and it's a power that could only manifest from breaking the cycle of hatred that defined the Uchiha for centuries, allowing her to unlock the strongest dojutsu ever in the clan, destroying Ryu instantly, who scales to Atsuki. The writers of Boruto clearly know what they're doing, as Itachi's words are in the story, because when Kakashi went around to film the students in his disguise, Sarada addressed the famous inspirational lines Itachi bestowed upon Naruto. Sarada stated, "My goal is to become the Hokage, so first I have to become a worthy shinobi, one who is acknowledged by everyone." So with Sarada admitting that her love for Boruto is what keeps her going to get her dream, and she even admits that's what makes her get even stronger, living to her uncle's ideals, a lot of people still say, well, this is crap, saying she got the manga killed too easily and the writing itself is bad. But once again, let's debunk this, because I'm going to prove that Boruto's story is a direct continuation of Naruto's core themes. Remember, the original Naruto manga was all about the cycle of hatred, how pain leads to revenge, revenge fuels hatred, and hatred leads to endless war. That's why every Uchiha who awakened the Mangekyou Sharingan before Sarada, they did it through loss and despair. But Boruto flips the script. It's now about the cycle of love. How far are you willing to go for your bonds? Would you sacrifice yourself, kill to protect someone, or even defy the entire world just to save them? That's why Sarada's Mangekyou isn't trash writing. It's the natural evolution of the story. It shows the Uchiha legacy has entered a new era. Sarada follows the same dream that every great Uchiha before her secretly longed for, and she even admits that Naruto is her idol. But the key difference is that Naruto taught Sarada something no Uchiha before her truly followed, and that's the philosophy of Ninshu that Hagoromo taught. In chapter 708, Sarada recalls Naruto's words, the idea that every single person in the village should be treated as family, and later she reminds Kawaki of this exact teaching, proving that her path to Hokage isn't about fear or domination like, let's say, Madara. But the seed of Itachi's final lesson was planted long before Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan in the Naruto Gaiden manga. Remember when Sarada questions her own parentage because she got the blood results thinking that Karen was her real mother. She then gets angry thinking that she lived a lie, just like Sasuke did when Itachi made all those mistakes, never telling him the truth. So in parallel, Sarada then asks Naruto, why should I care about strangers or anyone that isn't blood related? This meant if she couldn't even understand love inside her own family, how could she believe in protecting the entire village? Sasuke had spent his whole life consumed by hatred, from losing his clan to uncovering the truth behind Itachi's lies to spiraling into his own revenge against Konoha. Every step of his journey pushed him deeper into evil. He abandoned friends, betrayed his village, and even declared he would become Hokage by destroying the system itself. His entire arc was about rejecting bonds, drowning himself in vengeance until Naruto dragged him back from his darkness. It wasn't until their final battle at the Valley of the End that Sasuke acknowledged Naruto's way was right, that strength comes from bonds and love. So when Sarada breaks down, Naruto steps in and reminds her that love is the reason people protect each other. It's not because of bloodlines, not curses, and it's not destiny. And that's when Sasuke admits that Sarada herself is the embodiment of that truth. What he means is her very existence proves that bonds beyond blood can create true strength. Sasuke sees in her what he never managed to grasp until the very end of his own journey, that love is stronger than hatred. So in other words, for Naruto, Sarada is proof his Nindo is alive in the next generation. And for Sasuke, Sarada is proof that the Uchiha legacy doesn't have to be hatred anymore. Now in Boruto episode 95, if you haven't seen it, Sasuke openly admits to his daughter that he once had the same dream she does now, to become Hokage. He also tells her the truth. It was Naruto who pushed him onto the right path. And because she idolizes him, that's why Sasuke believes she won't make the same mistakes he did in the past. This scene also plays out as a metaphor. Sasuke helps direct Sarada's shuriken to the target, symbolizing that the road to her dream is not one to take alone. Her nakama must be by her side, much like how Sasuke realized this when he saw Naruto's vision of him by his side with all of their friends. That's why Sasuke encourages Sarada to chase her dream wholeheartedly and to never give up on it. This motif connects directly to Boruto chapter 80 when Sasuke chooses to believe Sarada despite the godlike power of omnipotence, forcing false memories onto the entire world. Later in Blue Vortex chapter 21, Sasuke even admits that her Mangekyou Sharingan awakening was what convinced him. The reflection of her heart was so pure that he knew she was telling the truth, and he decided to help Boruto just as she asked. And this makes a lot of sense because ever since the original Naruto manga, it's been established when Tobirama stated that the Sharingan is an eye that reflects the heart. This leads to Sasuke admitting that Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan will grow into a tremendous source of power, and with time, her instincts as an Uchiha will allow her to wield that strength naturally. But here's the real question. If her heart reflects love whilst Obito's reflected despair, then Sarada isn't just different, she's correcting even more mistakes than we thought. Obito and Sarada have an insane amount of parallels that you may not have noticed. From helping the elderly, from envisioning the Hokage monument with their face on it, to blushing when their crush admitted they would support their dreams. Two Blue Vortex has done all of this on purpose to bring Obito's dream to closure, because remember, Obito was much like Naruto in his youth. He was loud, underestimated, but he had a heart full of kindness. So like Naruto, Obito wanted to protect his comrades and gain acknowledgement. He proved to us that a Sharingan can get stronger from the desire to protect rather than negative feelings, because when he protected Kakashi, it evolved. However, on that fateful day, after Rin's death, that dream of Hokage was abandoned. Obito tried to create peace by redefining what it meant, as someone who ends the world's suffering by erasing reality itself through the infinite Tsukiyomi. His view was corrupted by hopelessness, and this despair wasn't entirely his own. Black Zetsu revealed that he manipulated the Uchiha clan for centuries, stoking Indra's jealousy and locking their lineage into a cycle of reincarnation and negative emotion. That's why Obito asks Naruto, what's the point of comrades when they only die, when they only betray you, and the system itself is broken? He had convinced himself that bonds were meaningless, but by the end of his life, Obito finally admitted he was wrong. He entrusted his path to Naruto and Kakashi, the one that he couldn't walk, and then accepted that being Hokage wasn't about creating a fake world where nobody suffered, it was about fighting for bonds in the real one. And this is where Sarada comes in once again, connecting the story. Sarada risked everything to protect Boruto. Boruto is to Sarada what Rin was to Obito. Now in Two Blue Vortex chapter 1, she has literally been fighting her own village to understand he's not the enemy. She's still a genin on top of that. Because of this reason, she informs us once again in this chapter that Naruto is the one she will follow, not Shikamaru's brainwash ideas. She will never give up on her friends, just like the Hokage she wants to be like. Sarada then fixes Obito's mistake of abandoning those friends that he did. This was Obito's own quote, those that abandon their friends are blah blah blah, right? Well, Sarada's not doing that. She's fulfilling his speech by not doing that shit of abandoning the friends, but instead protecting her comrades in the true path to Hokage. However, I also want to mention, Sarada also stands as the answer to Madara's corrupted legacy. First off, we need to mention this, Madara didn't even think women were strong. During the Fourth War, he straight up mocks the idea of a female Hokage. He looks at Tsunade right in the face and says, so you're the granddaughter of Hashirama, but compared to him, you're weak. And being a woman, you're a woman. So that one line tells you everything about Madara. To him, Hokage was about raw domination and ruling through fear. So Sarada achieving the dream he never could would make the story come full circle that he was dead wrong. In his childhood, Madara and Hashirama shared the dream of creating a world where children wouldn't have to die in pointless war. But when Madara lost his brothers and the Uchiha were still mistrusted and Tobirama was to fault too, but over time his heart got twisted. By the time Konoha was founded, he had already broken from Hashirama's vision. Eventually, Madara declared, literally with his own words, that Hokage means being the one with the power to enforce their vision, even if everyone else rejects it. This corrupted view of Hokage, rule through fear and illusion, it's what led him to the infinite Tsukiyomi. Madara believed the only way to bring peace was to trap the entire world inside a dream that he could control. But even in death, Madara admitted that Hashirama's way, trusting in the next generation, it was actually the true path forward. And guess what? Sarada is doing exactly what Madara and Obito tried to do, but in the opposite way, because the story isn't parallel. She's living that exact correction. Just like Madara, she's standing against a literal false world. But unlike them, she doesn't want to trap humanity in an illusion. She wants to destroy the dream world of omnipotence and restore reality itself. So as you can tell, Sarada is the answer to every Uchiha mistake. mistake. Number 1, she doesn't lie to herself like Itachi. Number 2, she doesn't chase revenge like Sasuke. Number 3, she doesn't abandon comrades like Obito. And number 4, she doesn't seek control like Madara, which means she's destined to become the first Uchiha Hokage. Now, to enjoy more peak fiction about Boruto, watch this video on your screen right now.